And he's now a mod to put the
Can you hear
recording
me?
here. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, man? You getting your recording stuff set up?
Yep, just about to go live now.
Cool. Yeah, I'm ready to go get a ton of stuff that I'm excited to talk about that I've been working on. So, both with Drip and with Animal Farm. So I'm looking forward to talking about it. We've have a ton of interviews that are scheduled, but I've been having Stonecutter push them back until we have a date for Animal Farm going live, because some of these interviews are on really big platforms, and if we go on them, I want to have a date to give them for promotional reasons, obviously, because some of the platforms that we have scheduled are the kind of platforms that you can only get on once every few months or whatever. So I want the timing to be right. But he was saying that you wanted an interview or an AMA, and I told him, yeah, anybody that has a drip group, especially someone like Aleph, who's been here for a long time, is a major supporter. I'll do an AMA or an interview with them whenever he asks. So glad to be
Well,
here.
I appreciate that. And absolutely humbled that you were here. Everyone, thank you for joining us in Drip Syndicate Chat. This is a team that I basically started back in October and November as we were beginning that big run up. Got some friends in, honestly targeted some key guys in larger groups that I was in, and recognizable names. Ended up snowballing into almost 300 people now. And I'm very happy that you're blessing us with your presence here, and maybe we can start the snowball that becomes an avalanche leading into the launch of all these new developments. Forex Shark, the crypto maiden in DeFi space, is joining us today. He is kind enough to give us a couple hours of his time to go through explaining what's on the horizon, and also giving us an opportunity to ask him some pointed questions to pick his brain and see if he can.
Yep. I have an interview with a developer at 4 p.m. EST, so that gives us a couple hours. So, I can stay for the whole time as long as there's interesting things to talk about, which is plenty to talk about. So I'm sure the time will come and we'll feel like it's there's more to talk about, but I can come back too. So we should get right into it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a little quiet on the development front, but I know that every time that happens, when you emerge from your work, it ends up dazzling everybody and giving us something to be really excited about. So if you would, in just a general sense, could you let us know what you have been working on and maybe the most exciting development that you have coming up?
Yeah, so with Animal Farm, everybody knows that the reason why we decided to go to a V2 was because PancakeSwap shut their emissions down on their V1 syrup pools. We're taking the TVL, all of the collateral in Animal Farm, staking it on the back end in PancakeSwap to earn an extra 30-40% APY a year. And when you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in collateral, that makes a big difference. That's between 30 and 40 million dollars every year worth of BUSD that we can use primarily for injections into the pigpen, but also to pay for marketing, to pay for future development, but primarily injections into the pigpen. And when they shut down their V1 syrup pools, our MasterChef contracts did not have the ability to swap out where we're doing the back-end staking. This is for immutability reasons. It's a security risk for a protocol to be able to change the address where essentially all the TVL is going into. So we made it immutable. This way, the community didn't have to worry about anything like that going on. Anybody being able to switch the back end staking contract, even though I'm the only one that would be able to do that. And I think the community at this point, a lot of people working with me for a lot of years, they know that's not a risk, but still, you don't want to have projects reliant on trust. You want it to be in the code that even if someone wanted to do something shady, it's not possible. So that's the way we like to do development. So because of this, and because we passed over the ownership of the dog and pigs token to the mastership contracts, the V1 mastership contracts, that meant that not only did we have to relaunch the mastership contracts, we have to relaunch the tokens as well and all associated contracts. So we started off with pigs and the pig pen and piggy bank as a way for people to get credited the pigs that they already held, but also as a way to invest in the farm, in V2 of the farm. So people that are holding the pigs token right now, you should understand that the pigs token gets its value primarily from the farm. It acts as a governance token and as an ownership token of the farm. So when you hold the pigs token, you get a share of all the revenue the farm generates, and also a share of all the taxes that are associated with the swapping of the dog token. When the farm is paused and it's not having volume coming in and out of it, the pig token essentially acts as you could call it a pre-sale token or a asset that represents the future value of the farm. So people that are holding the pig token right now are holding it because they know the farm is going to be going live shortly, and buying and accumulating the pig token is increasing or accumulating your share of the farm and all the profit that's generated from it. Now, we know in crypto, people have a lot of trouble investing in future value. And this is in markets in general, but especially in crypto. People like to buy hype. They don't like to buy into future value. And the savvy investor buys future value and makes profit in times of hype. So people, when you have people that don't understand how to buy future value, then, these are typically your weak hands and your people that are selling bottoms, selling for losses. And right now, I see selling pigs at this point essentially like selling a pre-sale token before the project lists, or selling an asset before the utility for the asset even hits the market. But it does create a unique opportunity for those who do know how to invest in value to accumulate these tokens at a better price than they otherwise would after the product goes live, or while it's at pre-launch hype when we're in the countdown to going live. So what I've been working on is the V2 contracts for the Master Chef and the Dogs token, which are finished, and also a series of products that will be going out on the Animal Farm. They'll be ready to go out when the Animal Farm goes live on day one, but just for promotional reasons and education reasons. When I say education, I mean having the time to educate the investor base on what these products do and the benefit of using them. We're gonna kind of stagger it out a couple weeks. But the beauty of that is when we go live, we'll have a new product dropping every couple weeks for the first 3 months, which is, of course, amazing. And unlike what a lot of other development teams are doing, right? A lot of other development teams, they launch their main thing, and then it will sit stagnant for a while if they ever launch the main thing. A lot of these development teams launch a token and then the product never hits. But I always like to launch essentially finished products and then create additional utility and additional use cases and reasons for demand and cash flow. But with Animal Farm, because of the situation with the V1 to V2 pools, it's a situation that you rarely get with my products, and an opportunity that you rarely get with my products, and that's an opportunity to buy into the asset before the product hits the market. So I look at it as an amazing opportunity right now to accumulate pig tokens. So when it does go live, you are able to get in at a low price and accumulate your ownership. So when the Animal Farm does go live and it's generating all of this capital in the form of BUSD and BNB, you're going to be positioned in a much better place than the people that are buying on the day the farm goes live. So
absolutely. If I might interject real quick, you said I've been around for a while, and I have. And one thing real quick. So there's a bit of FUD out there. It's been out there. And what I would tell people is I had a similar view in February, I think it was, of 2021, where I took some hits and you came and you said, hey, guys, and this was in the Discord, hey, guys, we're going to put a utility on REAP as the DAO token. And in that moment, my head, that little lizard brain was like, this guy wants me to spend more money when this is down at $2, right? It was when I was fairly new to investing. And that's the trick, that if you can overcome that little lizard brain in your head and see the opportunity, it wasn't a couple weeks later that $2 investment would have been $20, right? So yep. I completely see where you're coming from. And after that experience, anytime with your projects, it's riding the ups, riding the downs, but staying with it, trying to time certain trades to make some profits, but long-term looking. And ever since that time, I'm kicking myself. I could have so many DAO seats right now, but I've got my one, and it has paid off huge. And that's what I look forward to with all of your projects, because every single time they have fleshed out to be one of the most wonderful things in the space.
Thank you. Yeah, so I understand the kind of skepticism in this space, because it's true that a lot of times developers will put out an asset and claim that they're going to give a use case or a utility to it, they're going to develop something, and that never comes. But I think with my history in the space, I've proven time and time again that when I build something and I say that I'm going to develop a product for it, I do. I'm very careful about stating things that I'm going to do. And if I say I'm going to do something, I make that commitment 100%. And of course, there's always things like the occasional partnership that falls through, or whatever. There's always little things like that come up when it's something that's not 100% on my shoulders. But when it's something that's 100% on my shoulders and I'm 100% responsible for it to get done, it gets done. And you're absolutely right. REAP was $2. We launched it at 4 cents. You were talking about it was at $2, and that was after what happened was we launched at 4 cents. It went up to $20 or $30 or $40, whatever it was at. We had a major market correction. It corrected all the way down to $2. I purposely let the market flush itself out. Let the weak hands get out of it. Let the core investors, the people that really were in there for the long haul, accumulate their positions. And this wasn't any kind of insider thing, letting them accumulate their positions, but it was just a natural thing. The people that believe in our ecosystem, believe in me as a developer, and saw the vision that I had, they accumulated their positions. And then when the time was right, I announced the DAO, and now I believe the REAP token somewhere around $80, and it's $80 with ETH being down 80% or whatever ETH is down right now, and REAP is paired with ETH, meaning if ETH was to go to all-time highs, even if no one bought another REAP, ETH just went to all-time highs again. REAP is up at, I don't know, $180, $200 right now, something like that. So you had an opportunity at $2. Some people had an opportunity at 4 cents. One of my buddies, Stonecutter, who operates as a project manager for me, he got a ton of REAP because he was the first moderator in my Discord group. He's been with me from day one, and that's why I brought him on the payroll, because he's just a ride or die kind of person, and was providing a ton of value, and I wanted to reward him for that. So now he's operating as a project manager and doing a great job, but he majorly benefited from these swings of the market and being in it from the long haul. Literally, he's been in it from day one, and he's been accumulating, and he's kicking ass. So to the point where he was able to leave his job, and now he's working for me full time. Plus, his investments are doing great. So it's amazing.
One of the best things about it, especially in light of what the news that I woke up to this morning, $100 million hack on the Harmony Bridge, that hasn't happened. It's all these projects in the bear are suddenly being exposed as incomplete or bad logic, and you guys have been able to protect funds going on, almost 2 years now.
We've never had a major issue where we've lost investor funds. Never. And let me just so when you that's another thing. We've been around for a long time, right? REAP has been around for 2 years. Well, a long time in crypto, crypto years. REAP has been around for a couple years. Drip's been around for over a year. And we have our ups and downs, like all assets, but compare our performance and our ability to outlast and our ability to protect investor capital and remain secure protocols compared to virtually everything else in the space. So many people have come and gone, and we're still running strong, and we still have development in the works. But let me finish speaking about what we're working on right now. So we had to do V2 for all the existing contracts, and that's done. So we wrapped that up last week. Now this week, the goal was to figure out a way to credit dogs in a way that is that fits into our existing system very well, but is also attractive for new capital to come in, is not diluting the existing farms or pools, and does not require a major rework of MasterChef, which is the core contracts that the farms and pools operate on. So we went through maybe 30 different ideas of what we could do. Building models of them, working them out. I looked at a ton of other projects that did well, but then had some kind of security issue or flaw or whatever, it depegged or whatever the case was for a ton of projects. I looked at a bunch of them to say, all right, well, could this have worked if this security issue was fixed? If it was fixed, would it fit in our system as a way to credit dogs and also be attractive? And we went over so many projects. We went over algorithmic stablecoin projects. We went over a variety of staking protocols. We went over nodes, so many things. And I believe that I have worked out a model that is going to be amazing, right? It's going to fit exactly what we need, in the sense that the dogs that we credit will be vested, but we don't have to add vesting to the major MasterChef contracts, and the vesting will be optional in the sense that you can sell your dogs, but there's a tax associated with it. This tax is not burning the dogs. It's swapping the dogs for B&B, which is then used for people that are not selling their dogs. And this tax is reduced over time. So it still acts as a form of vesting for the people that are both getting credited dogs and for the people that are generating new dogs through farming. So there is an element of vesting there, but instead of just locking up the tokens, so they can't move at all, the method that we are developing, that we have decided on, allows people to decide to sell their dogs, but the shorter amount of time they're holding their dogs, the larger the tax is placed on selling, and that tax is then converted to B&B and used to pay the single asset dog staking pool. So there's a lot more to that idea, and it involves NFTs. It involves earning NFTs for staking in the single asset dogs pool. The NFTs that you earn represent the tax that you pay on selling dogs. The longer you're staking, the higher the rarity of the NFT you get, and the more rare the NFT that you get, the lower the tax you pay on selling dogs. And it becomes a system where both people that are crediting dogs and people that are earning dogs can take those dogs, stake them in the single asset dogs staking pool to earn B&B from the weak hands that are dumping dogs early, or dumping dogs with a very high tax placed on them. But as they're in the single asset dog staking pool, they're earning B&B from the weak hands, and they're earning NFTs, which are reducing the tax that they have to pay if they do sell dogs in the future. So it solves the vesting issue. It creates a great value transfer from weak hands to strong hands. It's going to generate a ton more capital for the pig pen, because 1/3 of all this B&B that is generated in from the sale of dogs will be converted to BUSD and sent to the pig pen. So it's going to be a model where you're earning B&B for staking dogs, and you're earning BUSD for staking pigs. The longer you're staking dogs, the less tax you pay on selling dogs. This way, you're having a model that acts like vesting, but it still leaves room for people that might need to sell for an emergency, or might just want to be a weak hand, want to get out. But those who are staying strong, and those who are in it for the longer haul, are rewarded for doing so. And then the dogs BUSD and the dogs B&B pool will still be earning pigs. Now the pigs that they'll be earning will be the emissions will be very much controlled. So pigs can be either very, very slightly inflationary or deflationary relative to the demand for the pigs. And this goes to our dynamic supply control algorithm, which either increases or reduces the emission rate based on the demand for the assets. So it's going to generate a ton more capital for both the pig pen, and now for staking dogs in the single asset pool, you'll be earning B&B. So that's huge. And it it doesn't just handle the vesting issue for the crediting dogs. It also creates a much more stable model for the farm in general, because people who are farming dogs with non-native farms and pools, the dogs that they're earning, they can either put it into the liquidity pool and then stake it to earn pigs, or they can put it in the single pool to earn B and B and be generating B and B from the weak hands, or they can slowly offload some of it as they are lowering their tax through staking it. But there'll be very few people who are just farming it and then immediately dumping it, because the tax will be significantly high on doing that. So it's going to be a flow where essentially all of the dogs that are earned in the farm will either be added to the liquidity pool to earn pigs, or put into the dog single asset pool where you'll earn B and B, and then as your tax is reduced, you can slowly over time take profit by selling them. But there'll be very few people farming dogs and dumping them, like what happens with a traditional farm reward token. And those who do that will be generating huge amounts of B and B. You know, the majority of the capital that is tied up in that dog token that they're dumping would not be going to them. It will be going to the people who are staking their dogs in the single asset staking pool and to the pig pen. So this is what we're doing. So this is the solution we came up with that fits into our model perfectly, because it's not, because a lot of the other things that we considered were essentially full projects on their own. And some of the ideas that we came up with were great ideas, but they just didn't fit perfectly in the slot of how are we going to credit dogs in a way that works for everybody in the system, especially new capital coming in. Because even if you're a dog holder that's getting credited, more than anything, you want new capital coming in. So on top of this, there's 3 or 4 other products that we have worked on. Some are built, some are less than 2 weeks away from being built, and one of them just needs the art done, essentially. So one of them is a dogs roulette game, and this is built. This is 100% built. The dogs roulette game is a game that allows you to send your dog token to buy bullets. It's a Russian roulette game, right? Where you have a 1 in 6 chance of winning a prize. The way that it works is, just like a Russian roulette, you have 1 in 6 chance. Now, it starts off with a seeded treasury, you could call it. It starts off with a seeded treasury, so the first people that play have something to play for. And now everybody, so let's just use arbitrary values just to make it very simple for people to understand. Say to buy 1 bullet costs 1 dog. Now, and we have a very cool UI for it too. So say you buy 1 dog, you spend 1 bullet. I mean, you spend 1 dog, you buy 1 bullet. Now you shoot, you have a 1 in 6 chance of winning the prize. Say you don't win. Now the next person goes. They got a 1 in 6 chance of winning the prize. Those dogs that you just put into the game now go into the reward pool, and people go, they shoot until someone hits the bullet. Someone wins the game. When they win the game, they make 50% of all the dogs that were sent in since the last winner. Plus, they make 10% of the treasury and 20% of the dogs that are sent each game goes into the treasury. So the treasury is always building, and then the rest gets burnt. So when we did, projected models in this game, the average winner wins 3 times what they put into it, and it's burning significantly more dogs than what's going into it as well. So it's a game where it's very fast paced, right? You can it's one person going after another, and it's as fast paced as blocks can be confirmed, essentially. So this is a game where you could, almost like a slot machine, could be sitting there all day, winning prizes, burning dogs, sending a ton of dogs out of circulation, and it's all verifiably trustless and all verifiably random due to our utilization of Chainlink's VRF service. So Chainlink, every time someone buys a bullet, when you buy a bullet, you get a credit. You don't necessarily have to play the game when you buy the bullet, and you can buy as many bullets as you want. Now, when you buy the bullet, you get a credit. So you say you get 10 credits. Now, you pull the trigger once, you don't win. Pull the trigger again, you don't win. Pull the trigger again, you win. You'll make the average 3 times your money, but up to 15 times your money we saw in projections. That's the highest we saw with 15 times your money. A lot of people winning 3 to 5x your money, but it's all verifiably trustless and randomized. Now, on top of this, you can buy bullets in bulk to get a price break. So if you want to buy one bullet, say one bullet costs $1. You buy one bullet, you pay $1, you play the game once. But if you want to buy multiple bullets in bulk, say you want to buy 10 bullets, you have to use BUSD. So if you want to buy in bulk, you have to use BUSD, and what the BUSD does is buy dogs on your behalf and then credits you with them. But for buying in bulk, you're getting a price break. So if you buy 4 bullets or more, you get 10% off. So essentially, it's like you're buying in with dogs, because BUSD is just buying dogs, but you're getting 10%. You're getting 10% off, and all of that BUSD that is used to buy those bullets goes directly into the price of dogs. It goes directly to pumping dogs, and then those dogs are being burnt in the game. So it's a very fun game. I've played the game both on testnet and on chain, and it was very fun because it's very fast. You can sit there and just kind of spam it, hit it 3 or 4 times. There's a small cooldown, like a 10-second cooldown between times you can pull the trigger. But in a minute, you can you can play the game 6 to 10 times and really just cycle through. And because all of the capital is either going into the treasury, which is increasing every time, or is going into the prize, or burnt, you're either supporting the dog's price or building up a prize that someone's going to win. And because the treasury is always growing, it gets to a point where some of the rounds of the game, the payouts are on par with the amount of money coming in, because the treasury is built up. So it becomes almost a the odds aren't even, but the risk reward ratio is even, because the payout is equal to the capital coming in. So it's a very fun game, and especially with the UI we came up with, it's something that I know people will enjoy. It's going to create a lot of volume on the dog token, which means a lot more dogs burned, a lot more BUSD going to the pig pen, and it's just another utility for dogs. There's also, and that's built, that's done. There's also the Pigpen game, and I still have not come up with a name for the Pigpen game. This is something that I want to put up to vote in the community, but right now, what we have left to do with this is the artwork. So this is a massive game, right? And when people see this game, you're going to understand why I'm so excited about it, and why we decided to take the time to do this and come live with it, as opposed to just creating the V2 versions of Animal Farm and pushing it out. We want to come back stronger and bigger than ever, and with products that are nothing like anything the space has seen. And we want to continue hitting people with this every few weeks. So the Pigpen game, which will be going live very shortly after launch, I would say probably 2 weeks after launch. Now, it's going to be completely finished before we set the deadline to go live, but I don't want to put everything out on day one. I want to stagger it out a couple weeks so we can build excitement, give people a reason to look forward to, that whole thing. But the Pigpen game is based on the game that I have been telling people that I've been developing for years. It's a game that is both active and passive. And what I mean by active and passive, you can decide that you want to play a more passive role, and there are multiple characters in the game that you can buy and play as. Now, they act as a team, so you're not playing as a singular character. You're essentially putting together a team of characters. Some of these characters are very good at generating the in-game currency. Some of the characters are very good at defending the in-game currency. Some of the characters are very good at attacking other players in the game. And I don't mean other players like NPCs or your own characters. I mean other investors in the Pigpen. And some characters are very good at looting other characters, which means when you attack them, you can steal their in-game currency. And the coolest thing about that is the in-game currency can then be exchanged out for BUSD. And that BUSD is coming from the Pigpen. So this Pigpen game acts as an alternative way to stake into the Pigpen. So you can decide, I want to stake my pigs in the Pigpen, or I want to stake my pigs in the game, and then the game stakes your pigs in the Pigpen on your behalf. And then you're playing other players in the game for the rewards that are coming into the game from all of the combined stakes that it's staked on the Pigpen in behalf of the players. So all of the rewards that are being generated in the Pigpen from these stakers that have staked via the game, now all of the BUSD and all of the pigs generated from that are now up for grabs as the daily pot that you will be playing each other for. And what that means is people that are more skilled at the game have a chance to make more money from the Pigpen than you would as a normal staker, because not only can you make the pigs and BUSD that you would make from the Pigpen as a normal staker, you can also be attacking other players that are in the game to take the rewards that they would be making from the Pigpen. And it's not a one of these games like there's a lot of games in DeFi that are essentially glorified staking contracts, right? They're not games. They call them games for regulatory reasons, because it's a lot better to say you're winning a game and you're winning digital assets in a game as opposed to you're winning some crypto, you're winning some money or something like that. That for regulatory reasons, they like to stay away from the latter. In this case, it truly is a game, and you truly are winning digital assets. And it's a very well balanced game. And some play to earn games are essentially whoever has the most money wins the game, because they're not well balanced, and there'll be a couple characters in the game where it's just like you just gotta buy as much of these characters as you can, and you'll win. This is a very well balanced, well put together game, something that I've been working on for years, and something that another developer who I'm working on with it has also been developing for years. And we were going to wait for Solana to go live, Solana to become EVM compatible, I should say, to put this out. But I see it as a perfect opportunity to be to do something unique and have it be another layer on top of the Pigpen. And games are something that's very easy to promote. It doesn't matter how prudent some of these crypto promotional platforms are; all of them are willing to promote games. So it's a promotional angle, as well as just adding some great new game theory to the Animal Farm. So right now, I'm in the process of talking to 2 art studios, and we could potentially open it up to a competition, but I want to make sure that the quality of the art that we use for our characters is top tier. So that's why I'm leaning on the side of just paying a AAA studio to do it. But I will likely still have a competition just to give the community a chance. And if someone does provide some, AAA quality animation, then sure, we'll go with it. But most likely we're going to go with a studio, and we're in talks with them right now just about payment, whether they're willing to take crypto, or we're gonna have to pay them in fiat in some way. Of course, I want to pay in crypto, so that's where we're at there. But the development of the game, the contracts are finished. The Web3 stuff is finished. We still have to put some of the front end stuff done, but we have a deadline of 11 days. So that'll be done in the next 2 weeks. And then another amazing thing that we're coming with, a new product for Animal Farm, which is already developed, but we're not utilizing it yet, is another awesome use case for the governance protocol. So previously, we were taking all of the TVL on the platform, staking it on the back end of PancakeSwap to earn 30-40% APY, and then it's been building up. And when the farm goes live, this will be injected into the Pigpen. But we're going to take a percentage of this, right? Right now, I'm leaning towards 10% of the capital that, so the cake that we earn on the back end gets swapped for BUSD and will be injected to the Pigpen. 10% of this BUSD, we're going to invest in third-party projects. It could be anything from AVAX nodes, another farm, whatever the community votes on. And we're going to keep it small. We're going to keep it a small percentage because, of course, it's a risk to be staking our capital in third-party projects. So we're going to keep it, 5-10% of the capital that was generated on the back end that would be used for Pigpen injections. We'll inject 90-95% of it. The other 5% will have a vote using the governance protocol about where we will stake it. and we'll use it as a type of crowdfunding, crowd investing mechanism. And then the profit made from these investments will be injected into the pig pen. And this is something that I'm super excited about. I think it's going to be a ton of fun, and it's just a great utility for the governance protocol. So this is something that is developed already. We have everything set to do. We have the governance front end. We have all of the governance mechanics put into the pig pen and into the pig's token, and that's just something that is just a matter of doing once the farm goes live. So that's another super exciting thing that we'll be introducing to the farm. And then there's vaults. So vaults are not something new that we've been working on since in the past couple months. This is something that we wanted to do from day one, but I can say that we have a lot of other projects that have reached out that want to have vaults and are willing to put up a percentage of their total supply to be used as a reward in our vaults. So I didn't want to just update our V2 contracts and then come back the same as we were before, only with a different syrup pool. If I have to pause the platform, there's no way I'm coming back without at least a handful of new exciting protocols, and without taking the knowledge that I was able to acquire from V1 and putting it to good use to updating our V2 model to be really as efficient and as gamified as possible. So it's been a lot of work, right? We've had developers that have been with us from day one that are no longer working with us. We've had people come and go, but those who are paying attention, the people in the DAO, the admins, the people that have been around for a long time, they know the one thing that doesn't change and remains a constant is I'm working 12, 16 hours a day, every day. The only day I take off is Saturday night. Even Saturday all day during the day, I'm working. And that's because I feel a real obligation to our investors. I have a drive to build, and I have a drive to do great things and really lead the space. And I know because I spent the past couple weeks looking at everything that's launched in the past year. And as far as I can see, very little interesting is launched, right? There's been a bunch of drip clones. There's been some algo staking coin projects that have all broken, become unpegged, wrecked. There's been some farms that are like, they're not doing anything new, nothing interesting. And that's about it, right? I really... And then there's a couple other things that don't work at scale. Like there's a few things that are cool for like small little niche projects, but on scale they stop working for whatever reason. And it was just it really hit me that someone needs to be there truly innovating, taking chances, but taking educated, measured chances that are innovative but are not jumping off the deck, right? Like some of these algo staking projects that it's like, yeah, these projects work until they don't. For example, there's no reason for me to name the name of a project, but there's a project that was it had an algo stable coin that was supposed to be pegged with BUSD, and they had their own stable coin that was supposed to be paying out. They got hacked. I knew they were going to get hacked. I told everybody they were going to get hacked months before it happened because it was so obvious they were vulnerable to a flash loan. But anyways, I wanted to see, would this project have worked if they didn't get hit by a flash loan, which I said would happen months before it happened. Because the price was going up before that happened. And and all their contracts weren't verified, of course. So I spent about a week reverse engineering them, looking at every mechanic, which is not super easy when you have 100 moving parts and it's unverified contracts. And it turns out the reason why the asset was going up is because all of the BUSD that was being used to swap for the stablecoin that was supposed to be backing the stablecoin was buying the main asset behind the scenes using unverified contracts and a bunch of shell game flim flam to hide it. So they claim they were over collateralized with both BUSD and their native asset, and bragging that their native asset is going up, when in reality they were backed by like 12 BUSD and a handful of shitcoins. And the first time they had a correction more than 15-20%, and someone tried to swap a significant amount of their stablecoin back out, it would have unpegged. And then they would have had to sell the asset to try to repeg, and it would have quickly spiraled and broken, completely broken. I had a lot of people coming to me saying, you got to do this project, you just got to fix it. You just got to fix because I said why it would get flash loan attacked and how to fix it. And the fix would be relatively easy, right? You just use a time-weighted average for the pegging price instead of just looking at what the current price is. I mean, that's like first day crypto oracle stuff. But after, and the reason why a lot of people wanted me to do it is because they saw the price was going up and they were getting paid out in a stable coin. And this was an algo stable coin. It wasn't BUSD or anything like that. But the reality is the price was going up because what was supposed to be backing the stable coin was pumping the price of the asset, which means there was nothing backing the stable coin other than this volatile asset. And the first time it had a correction more than 20%, then the stable coin would no longer have its pegging. And all assets have corrections. You could be the most in-demand secure asset in the world. Eventually you're going to have a 15-20% correction. And that's what a lot of these projects are doing, right? They look good on the short term. They look good while they're doing well, but the fundamental logic is not there. And I think this developer actually got lucky having his project hacked when it did, because then it looks like it was a good idea, but it got hacked due to a oversight. When in reality, it was hacked due to blatant disregard for basic logic, and it was a terrible idea in the first place. And the only thing that was keeping it afloat was this weird shell game buying of the asset with capital that was supposed to be backing the stablecoin. So, this is what I saw when I've been spending the last couple weeks looking at what's launched in the past year. There was a project that that launched recently that was saying that they were doing something that I said I want to build in the future. I looked at it. I told people, be careful. In the DAO, be careful for this, guys. The logic is wrong. Didn't take 2 weeks. It's broken. So I would say for anybody that wants to complain about delays or how long it's taking to develop and all this stuff, I get you. I 100% understand. And I always think that there's room for improvement. But I want you to have perspective and compare us to our competition, right? Like, I like to set the standard. I like to set our own standard, but you have to be fair and compare us to our competition out there. And I really don't see anybody out there really trying to build great stuff, really just game-changing, innovative stuff. This game, the Pigpen game, is truly innovative. It's one of the few, maybe the only fun DeFi games, an actual game, balanced, over a dozen characters, 20 plus items, experience points. You can use the experience points to give talents to your characters, make them better at what they do. You can choose all kinds of different strategies. If you use a more passive strategy, where you're earning the in-game currency passively, you better build up your defense as well, because someone who's taking a more active role, who may not be using their in-game currency to buy more characters that are good at passively earning in-game currency, they might be using their in-game currency to buy characters that are very good at attacking and looting other characters. So if you're sitting there building up big bags and not building up your defense, you're going to get that taken. And then alternatively, you could decide you want to have a passive strategy, but really build up your defense. And another really cool thing is there are items that only one person playing the game can hold. And it works as a type of auction where when someone buys the item price resets. And then the item price reduces every day until someone buys it off of him. Or he decides, well, the item price is getting pretty low. I don't want someone to take it off me, so I'm going to buy it off myself just to reset the price higher. And use this item as an advantage because it's making my attack values 2x, and it's allowing me to rank other people in the game. There's also a lottery in the game, which is utilizing Chainlink to be completely randomized, completely trustless. And there's essentially a daily cash out. So once a day, the dividends that have been earned from all of the combined stakes in the game, the game has staked for on people's behalf in the Pigpen. All of the accumulated rewards go into a pot, and now you can take your in-game currency, put them in your cash out treasure box, or whatever you want to call it, and then when that cash out time happens, it will swap out your in-game currency for BUSD and pigs. Now, when you cash out the pigs, when you cash out of the game, the BUSD goes to your wallet. The pigs go to your stake in the pig pen. This way, we don't have a situation where the game is inevitably draining the pig pen, because when you cash out of the game, the pigs are not going to your wallet. They're going to your pig pen account. This way, if you don't want to cash out of the pig pen, you just want to take some BUSD out, you can do that. So it's a model that, it fits very, very well in the pig pen. And it's something that's really, it's a beautiful project in its own. And the fact that it's going to be a part of Animal Farm is super bullish, right? Because people are going to want to come to the Animal Farm just to play the game, and you're earning BUSD, you're earning pigs. super bullish. Now, another thing that's in development, and I've hired 3 new developers. So one developer is a long-term game dev who's been in the space for years. I hired him on to help me wrap up the Pigpen game, and I hired 2 other developers who are their specialty is NFTs and using Chainlink's VR service. Right, this is what they do. Very good at it, and this project is Scratchy. So Scratchy, in my opinion, is the most gamified staking protocol. So with Scratchy, it's a scratch ticket protocol where you can buy scratch tickets. The tickets are going to sell for 0.1 BNB and 0.3 BNB. When you buy a ticket, you get better odds at winning than the traditional scratch ticket model. And the reason for this is because instead of the state taking 40+% of all the capital that goes to the lottery as taxes, we're able to put that capital either into buybacks or prizes or the treasury, which increases the jackpot on each batch. This is big for Drip because we're going to be launching first on Animal Farm and Drip. 20% of all the BNB that goes to buy the tickets on the Drip platform go to buying back Drip, and this Drip is then sent to the tax vault. 60% is used for prizes. 10% is used for the treasury. And then one of the major things I've been doing over the past 2 months about is really working on building my team. So I hired 3 new developers. I hired a CMO to come on. I hired a project manager, Stonecutter, and he's doing a great job. So
we're poised for launch in more than just the farm. The entire ecosystem just taking off into the stratosphere.
We have a ton, and that's why I wanted to come back and really hit them. So really just bring it full force. But the reason why I was saying that is about the team thing is because we've done a great job with community marketing. One thing we could really work on, I feel, is taking advantage of paid marketing opportunities. And I'll be honest, right? I'm a developer. I'm someone that knows how to run a community. I'm someone that knows how to innovate. But I'm not someone who has ever run a marketing budget for a major company, specifically for marketing. So I've brought on a CMO who's the former lead at Cointelegraph, and it's going to make a huge difference, right? They're going to be, and it's not just her, she's the lead, but they have a whole team. They're going to be managing the marketing budget, analyzing the value that we're getting from each platform and whether we should be putting more resources or less resources to that, fielding new marketing offers, reaching out for new marketing opportunities, getting us on all of the major platforms, getting us with some very big YouTubers and influencers in the space, helping us manage our social media. So I believe this is one thing that we've been lacking, and we've been lacking because I've mostly focused on community-based marketing and setting up very good very good and well engineered referral systems. But marketing is it's not just a full time job; it's a full time job for a team when you get to our scale. So yeah, it's only natural that I only have so much resources to work with. So we needed to bring someone like this on, and I'm super super pumped that we did. Now the last bit, right, of B&B that's used to buy tickets goes to a revenue sharing model, and this revenue sharing model pays out in B&B. Now it doesn't just pay out B&B from the tickets that are sold on the Drip platform. It will also pay out B&B from the tickets sold on the Animal Farm platform and all of the other platforms that host our tickets. And the tickets act as a white label service where when you have the tickets hosted on your platform, the tickets are on their site and it uses their theming. So you might have seen some of the tickets that we've shared. The Drip ones have Drip theming, Drip art. They'll be on the Drip site. The Animal Farm ones have Animal Farm art. Will be on the Animal Farm site using an iframe. And there's a couple other developers who we've already locked in a deal with. What we're negotiating now is who will be the first, because everybody wants to be the first to have it on their site. And also, through some of the connections I've made, specifically with the Acquirify team and some really big, hard hitter venture capitalist guys that are involved with that, I was able to get connected with the guy who bought out most of the online casinos in 2017. So when Paxful, when the owner of Paxful and his 1 second.
Bruce, just Forex's dog excited for the launch of the Dogs V2 contract. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to these drops every few weeks to really, really set off the second half of this year and to build momentum in the bear. By the time we get all this stuff released, we should be knocking on the door of that.
Sorry, my cleaning lady just got here. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, man. I was just trying to fill in the space, talking about how excited I am for the second half of the year with these just rolling developments, announcements, hopefully some partnerships like you're talking about with the Scratchy thing, where they all are clamoring to get their protocol as the first one to be featured.
Yeah, it's so the cool thing about the casino partnerships, which will likely happen, and the way that I got this connection is because I just did a major race for the former owner and founder of Paxful. When he sold Paxful for billions of dollars, it was a unicorn company. He went off and started a lending platform similar to Celsius called Yieldy, and his partner went and bought out all of the major online casinos, and he created crypto on ramps for them. So that was his angle: is I'm going to buy all of these popular online casinos and create on ramps for people to deposit with Bitcoin and crypto. And he did that, and he was very successful doing that. And he still owns a lot of these casinos. And he reached out. He's very interested in having the scratch ticket model on his casinos. And in that case, there wouldn't be buybacks because there's no native asset there. And that's just more capital that can go to the revenue sharing. So it's going to scale very well. And all of the tickets that are used to win a prize, because each ticket, each scratch ticket you buy is an NFT. In order to collect the prize on the NFT, you have to burn the ticket, which means if you win a small prize, say you win your money back, which is the bottom tier prize, or you don't win a prize at all, you can still stake that ticket. Even if you win the jackpot, you could decide, I don't want the jackpot, which you would want to. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of B&B. But say you don't want the jackpot, and you because you decide, I would rather stake in the protocol and get a share ownership of the protocol itself. You can do that. You stake, and it's very, very innovative the way we did it. And I'll share a little bit of it, but there's some stuff about drip I want to talk about as well on top of it. But all of this stuff is going to be majorly positive for drip because, of course, Animal Farm has the drip farm. It provides an awesome place to earn value from drip. Scratchy is going to be sold on the drip platform. Gives a major reason for people to come on and participate in the drip platform, and the buybacks go to buying back drip. The game in the pig pen, some of the items are only possible to buy with drip, and this drip gets burned or sent to the tax vault. Actually, not burned; it gets sent to the tax vault. So all of these products that I've been mentioning all play around and provide some value for drip in some way. So the with Scratchy, right? Some people have mentioned, well, if people could stake their NFTs, won't the staking pool get diluted? And the answer is, it would get diluted, but also it's scaling. So as the platform scales, both in the sale of tickets and the adoption on other platforms, then the amount of B&B that's coming in grows exponentially, and it handles that dilution of the staking pool. But even better than that, the way that what determines your ability to earn from the NFT when it's staked is based on a multiplier. This multiplier can be adjustable relative to the price of the ticket you bought. So a higher priced ticket has a higher multiplier to represent this. And when you stake the NFT in the staking protocol, it acts as an options contract, meaning there's theta decay. So every month, the multiplier is reduced by 1. And that means by, say month 5 or month 6 on the lower tier tickets, you're no longer earning a revenue share on them. So the tickets have a lifespan, sort of like an options contract with theta decay, that allows you to earn on them. And the fresher the ticket, the more you'll earn off of them. Now, some people that are thinking about this might say, well, what about a secondary market? What about selling the tickets on secondary market? Because you can buy a ticket, you can scratch it, you don't win a prize. You can now sell that ticket on a secondary market in OpenSea or another NFT store to someone who doesn't care so much about the prize. They want to stake, and they're willing to buy a scratch ticket off you just to stake it. Well, if tickets have a lifespan, like an options contract, what's to stop someone from selling an expired ticket? And the way that we handle this is by putting a visual marker on the NFT what the multiplier is. So when you go to buy these tickets on a secondary market, it will say right on the NFT 5x, 4x, 3x, and that lets you know not only what multiplier you'll earn on it, but also how long you'll be able to earn on it. And there's more that I could get into there, some really clever things that we did, but I don't want to make this a whole scratchy presentation. I can say we are on pace by August for sure, but the two devs that I brought on for Scratchy, they're killing it, right? I meet up with them every 3 or 4 days. We discuss what came up, what they've done, any issues. I'm solving issues, coming up with maybe tweaks or improvements. I go off to go work on the other things I'm working on. Come back to talk to them in 3 or 4 days. They finished everything that was on the workflow allocation, because I'm using an agile workflow allocation method, and they're hitting goals and milestones every time we talk. They're doing great. So that's looking to be live in August. All of these things, I want to have a major promotional push behind them, and this is one of the reasons why I haven't been super active in interviews and AMAs and these kinds of things, because we've had a lot of opportunities, especially since I brought Stonecutter on. One of his major jobs right now, until we have the CMO working full time with us, is to be setting up interviews and marketing opportunities, and he's been doing that a lot. But whenever it's a major platform, I tell him, put that off for 2 or 3 weeks. Tell them I need 2 or 3 weeks. That way, when I come on, I have a date to give them. And I don't want to give a date until all the development's fully finished. That way, I know when I give a date, it's locked in. It's 100%. So, but we're real close to that, right? All of the V1 to V2 work is done. The dogs game is done. The Pigpen game, we're 11 days away. We need to do the art. The Scratchy, August, and then the dogs crediting stuff that I mentioned, with the kind of variable vesting that is raising a ton of B&B capital. That's something that we just worked out this week, but it's compared to some of the other ideas we were going with, it's something that we can get done relatively quickly. So the goal is to get everything wrapped up in the next 2 weeks and have a date to go live. That's the goal. But again, I'm not setting a deadline until 100% of it's done. That way I know, there will be no delay. The deadline is set. And as soon as we have that deadline, it's going to be all hands on deck as far as me doing community marketing and getting out there in interviews and all that stuff, but also paid marketing. And this time, this will be the first launch we ever do where we have someone on the payroll there to ensure we're making the most and the most efficient use of our marketing budget, which is huge, because like I said, that's more than a full-time job. That's a whole team's job. And that's not something we previously had. But as we grow, as we scale, these are, how, if you're going to continue to remain competitive, this is how you need to evolve. And it's beautiful that we've been put in the opportunity to do that. And I'm so ready to execute. But it's been a journey, because, when you're working with people for years, sometimes people, especially after they make money, they lose their drive, they get distracted, things come up. I've had to stop working with some people. I've brought on a couple new people. The new people I brought on are just killing it. But there's been a lot of work behind the scenes as far as teamwork, like building the team, bringing on new people, distancing myself from other people. This is never something that would be public, because there's, everybody knows these changes were for the best, and everybody is, mutually happy about it. But yeah, a lot of work, like all major teams, need to be done behind the scenes to make sure everybody stays motivated and everybody's on the same page. This is why I brought on a project manager who is constantly keeping track of what everybody's supposed to do, making sure everybody knows what they're supposed to do, taking whatever needs to be done, breaking it down to subtasks, putting deadlines on each subtask, having regular meetups to make sure everybody's on the same page and ahead of schedule and ahead of time. And we're really doing some great work right now. Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk about some of the things we're doing with Drip. So, I just brought on someone who has done a lot of cool stuff for Drip. He's added a lot of value to Drip from a UI and technical analysis perspective, you could call it, building analytical tools for Drip and really helping to gamify the mechanics of Drip, and that's DevStreak. So I brought on DevStreak, right? He's a great guy. He's very skilled, and I brought him on specifically for building the new Drip UI. So people have seen. I gave a sneak peek of the new Drip UI. It's based off of the same model that AAA investment banks are using. You know, TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab, along the lines of this. Really taking advantage of search engine optimization, because that's more than just paying Google to get a high listing. There's a lot more to it. It's a lot of it has to do with the way that you design your site, outsourcing links to popular sites, having specific keywords and titles, designing your site in a proper way. All of these things are important as far as search engine optimization, but also getting people to use your products when they visit your site. So when people visit the site, they should see all of your products right there on a landing page. And this is something that we're doing for Animal Farm as well. So the Animal Farm UI, as it is right now, is not how it will be when we go live, right? We're working on this right now. We're going to have a landing page that has all of the products on it, all of it explained, a really cool video on the front page breaking down everything, letting people know what's what, testimonials on there, our partners, a bunch of links and outsourcing articles about the platform, and really just an intuitive and efficient way that people can use the products, even people who have never used crypto before. Like, we want it to be as easy or even easier than online banking. And that's why we decided to go with the new UI for Drip and also Animal Farm. Animal Farm's going to keep the same basic layout, but we're going to change some of the art, and we're going to have a landing page. And with Drip, we're changing essentially all of it. Not only that, we're updating the team airdropping tool. So instead of having to airdrop one person at a time, confirming one at a time, this data, both the addresses that you want to airdrop to and the amount that you want to airdrop to, is being passed to a contract, and then this contract is doing the airdrop in one transaction. So that makes it very easy for people who want to do airdrops to just do it in a couple clicks. We're going to add all of the analytical tools that's on DevStreak's site, plus a ton more to the Drip site itself. So all of that value you're getting with all the analytical tools, which make it really fun for people. I see people saying, "Oh, I can afford one drip a day now for my dividends." The reason why people are able to think in these ways that are very they're intuitive for people to think from a I don't want to call it a layman, but just a basic intuitive way to see value, right? When you can look and say, I'm earning one of these a day, or if I do this for the next week, I'll be earning 5 of these every week. And you really need some clever and some well thought out tools to pass this kind of information to people. And this is what DevStreak is very good at doing. He's very good at taking on-chain data and turning it into analytical tools that are fun and intuitive for people to use. So I brought him on. He's going to be a major part of developing the new UI for Drip. And we're working on a new contract for drip that will encourage more people to use the faucet. I don't want to get into what it is exactly because we're still in the earlier. I know what I want it to be, and I know that it's going to be something that we can build relatively quickly. But until it's at the very end stages of being built, I don't want to give too much away of what it is because if I can think of some way to improve it or some way to change it that's better, I don't want to have said the initial idea and get people thinking about that, and then a week later have some major change to it. So, but we are working on something for drip that will encourage people to stake in the faucet. None of the major mechanics of the faucet will change at all, but you'll be able to use a contract that sits on top of the faucet that adds an element of gamifying to it. Or you could decide just to stake in the regular faucet contract if you want drip as it is. And it's not one of these models where it's like, the whoever deposits the most this day gets some payout. So you have these giant pumps once a day where whales know that pump's going to be there once a day or once a week. So they know, oh, I'm going to save up to dump then. Because then that really just transfers value from stakers to people that want to manipulate and dump and whales and all this stuff. It's much more clever than that, but it has the same kind of incentive to make people want to deposit and want to deposit more and more often. So I had an interview with DevStreak, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days ago, about doing all of this together. He is not at this point in time super knowledgeable at Solidity. He's very knowledgeable about JavaScript Web3 stuff, not so much Solidity. So actually at 4 in 29 minutes, I have an interview with someone who gave me his resume that's done a lot of work. He's very skilled in both Solidity and Web3. And we have an interview about bringing him on potentially to help us with the contracts. So I just want to let everybody know that when it comes to development, I'm there. Right? I'm directing every piece of the way. Do it this way, do it that way. Here's this idea, change this. Don't code it this way, code it that way. Change this value. Don't use this line, use that. The whole way. I'm hands-on the whole way. But if I was to be there writing every line of every contract, nothing would get done. So I'm always looking to hire developers, and there's very little risk of doing this because they're there to essentially do the work. They're there to be my hands, and but everything they do gets passed by me, gets passed by my other developers I work with, gets audited, and it's my brainchild that they're working on, so it's my idea anyways. But I'm saying from a technical security perspective, it passes through. So that this is why I've hired 3 new developers in the past, I'd say 2 or 3 months, and 4 developers in the past like 6 to 8 months. So we're really, and they're all working on different things. And my core developers are knee deep in Animal Farm right now, and I don't want them to have to take time away from that to do one of the other things we're working on. So this is why I'm hiring other developers. And because I have 4 developers working full time on additional products outside of the Animal Farm and Drip, and then I have 2 core developers working full time on Animal Farm and Drip, when we go live with Animal Farm, because I don't even, some of these things are ready to go now, but I don't want them to go live before the farm goes live. So it's set up right now where as soon as the farm goes live, every couple weeks we'll have something new to hit, and it's really like things that are innovative, things that could be their own very successful independent project, but instead, and for me, if I launched them as their own independent project, I would make more money. But people that know me know that I'm about supporting the ecosystem, so they're getting slotted in. They fit perfectly in our existing projects, and that's where they're going to add more depth and more utility and more use cases for our native platforms. So, it's when I'm quiet, that's when a lot of the building is going on. But also know, very soon, even when a lot of development is going on, I'll still be more front facing because of the fact that I've brought on and I've grown my team. So a lot of the work I've been doing in the past 4 to 6 months has been growing and building my team, having interviews all day. And then when I'm not in interviews trying to grow my team, I'm speaking with developers, trying to solve problems, trying to come up with ideas, that kind of thing. And I'll still be doing that, but I'll have to spend less time building my team and doing interviews, that kind of stuff. And I'll have more time to just be in the public. So we're ready to go full force when Animal Farm goes live. And we should have dates very shortly. So, I could talk. I could talk. And we only have 25 minutes left. So if you got any more questions, please.
Yeah, if we could have people raise their hands if they want to ask questions. The ones that you pretty much hit everything that was on my list throughout that conversation. One thing I did want to comment on is just how awesome the DeFi space is, and specifically the tools that you're creating for people that are really in my team. I mean, we're more in the dissident right community, and the mainstream doesn't want to hear what we have to say, and they try to diminish us as much as possible. But one of the guys on my team actually, some SJWs went after him, so we pulled together and gave him airdrops to try and buoy him because they were trying to ruin his opportunities at jobs. So
yeah, that's terrible.
These are the kind I really am excited about, you giving us an opportunity to exist outside of the banks. And one thing that I'm curious about, you expressed previously as one of your long-term goals is essentially an order book in DeFi. Is that kind of what all this is building towards?
Yeah. So you're the dissident right. I tend to lean more towards the right. Especially just as I would consider myself a libertarian. So I know a lot of people on the dissident far right are kind of they've moved away from being libertarians and libertarianism, but I feel like libertarianism is the best system that allows everybody to kind of live the life they want to live. And if you want to be far right, you can be far right, and you can stay with other people that are far right, and you can live in your own place. And that's I see the ideal world. Everybody can live amongst people that have similar ethics and similar ideology, and then when the time is right, you could cross paths with other people and trade and do all those great things. I try to stay out of politics because I don't want my politics to to get in the way of the project or harm the project, so I stay away from it. But I think a lot of us in DeFi tend to be libertarians. They tend to be freedom-minded people, and I think these days, people that were considered, relatively centered people, are now, far away from what they would consider, or what they consider like left today, right? So I think the political spectrum has really shifted to the left, very strong, and there's room for everybody. So
That's
DeFi,
a beautiful thought.
yeah, DeFi's it's a tool that it can work for everybody, whether you're on the left, you're on the right. Everybody could take advantage of some more freedom, and freedom is important to everybody. Freedom allows you to express your opinion, no matter what it is. It allows you to earn when others might want to shut you down. And I think DeFi is going to play a big role. And this is another reason why I think privacy is so important. So there's someone right now who's working on a privacy project. I'm in talks with him. I would like to, if nothing else, adopt his model and help him raise capital. But it's a major improvement on Tornado Cash. We'll see how far he gets. If he doesn't get far, maybe I'll pick up the tech and run with it myself. I don't know. It's tech that's deserving of attention, but I don't know if he's the one to do it. If he's the one that'll actually be able to make it to the market and bring it to market successfully. But if he doesn't, I will, because I want to ensure that that we have a DeFi space that allows people to protect their integrity and protect their dignity, no matter what their political ideologies are, or what they do for a living, or or who their friends are. Everybody deserves privacy if they want privacy, and everybody deserves a opportunity to make a living and protect their capital. That's the way I feel, and I want to provide products that allow for that and make that easier. So you said order book. So ask that question again.
Well, I just remember you had mentioned creating, essentially, when you were looking at the automated market makers and
Yep.
the limitations thereof, that one of your long-term goals, perhaps even a little self-serving, would be to have order books or the equivalent thereof in DeFi to handle large institutional trading types, or just whales, more or less.
We need all of that. So right now we are servicing with Drip's decks. We're servicing Drip only. Now I can think of multiple ways that we could improve the current DEX model and implement that into Drip's DEX. So the reason why we're using Drip, our own DEX, is because we introduced several mechanics that at the time were not available on any other DEX, such as time-weighted liquidity provider rewards, such as a adjustable liquidity provider fee, such as the ability to remove the tax on buying but not on selling. These kinds of mechanics were not available until we brought them to market. And I can think of a bunch of other ways that we could improve on the current DEX model by adding privacy, by adding things like limit orders and stop orders and trail stops, by allowing leverage, but leverage that is true leverage, right? Leverage that is allowing you to lever your capital that's either in a account that you deposit, or capital that you've essentially given permission to the contract to spend. All of these things, also just the UI and the way that people are able to interact with current centralized exchanges. For example, the ability to take an order on a chart and just move it up and down with your mouse to set orders. All of the stuff that has been innovated in centralized exchanges, there's no reason why these things can't function in DeFi. It's just a matter of someone building it. And, and if anybody tries to develop in DeFi, you'll realize there's very few people who have the skills to build these things. The people that do have the skills to build these things, a lot of them don't have the drive to build it. The ones that have the skills and the drive often don't have the communities or the investor base, so they build it and then no one uses it, and then no one even knows it exists, and then it disappears because no one uses it. It falls off the map. It's very rare that you have someone that has the network, the skills, the drive, the vision, and they're knowledgeable of the market. Very rare, and I could count those people on one hand in DeFi. And I mean, my goal is to buy them all out. Let's just get them all on our team, and we've gotten a couple, but you know, people just need to step and build it. And I have a bunch of things that I'm building right now, a bunch of things that I want to build. Right, there's at least 3 other major projects that I want to build. One is privacy, one is lending, and one is a specific game I want to build. And there's a lot of other things, but these are 3 major projects that I want to build after all of the other things that we're building right now. So so there's a long list of things I want to build, and some of the things that I just mentioned there, I would love to build, and I would love to do it, but there's only so much resources. You need to devote a lot of time and a lot of your resources and attention to your existing projects. And I don't want to just launch a new project once a month or whatever. So these are all things that I'm interested in, and they just have to come with time. Just time and resources. But hiring more developers, hiring a CMO, hiring a project manager is really going to make a huge difference, and it's going to allow me to spend my time with the community, promoting, doing interviews, doing AMAs, and working on my vision, and preparing for the next major thing we're building, and hiring developers, and managing my team. So if you look back just 6 months ago, I was working with one developer, no project manager, no CMO, doing everything myself, and we've come a great distance in the past 4 months, especially as far as team building, and really a lot of this hasn't become apparent yet because all of the things we've been building are at the final stages of development, and we haven't gone live with the launch yet, so the CMO hasn't got a chance to shine. The developers are working away, but we haven't launched any of these products yet. So all of the work that's gone on in the past 4 to 6 months is about to come down like an avalanche in the next over the next few months. So now is your opportunity to buy pigs, because pigs act as an ownership of Animal Farm, which is going to be generating a ton of capital, both in the pig pen and with the new dogs model. It's going to be generating B&B that gets paid out to the dog single asset staking, plus the pig pen in the form of BUSD. We're going to have a type of crowd investing with a percentage of the cake that's generated from the back-end staking, where people will vote on where we will stake or invest 5 to 10% of the capital that would otherwise be injected into the pig pen. And now is your time to get in as someone that is investing in future value rather than someone that's investing in the hype, because the hype is about to get strong. As soon as this development's finished and we have our dates, you're not going to be able to get rid of me, and our CMO is really going to show us what she could do. And we know she did the marketing for she does marketing for Matic or Polygon, Sandbox. shopping.io, major projects, right? So we got a top tier, one of the best marketing firms in the country, the owner of that company, to step on as a CMO for us. So all of this work is about to shine, and I'm anxious for it. I'm very excited for it. And I'm just, I can't wait for it. And there's a handful of people that are, they want everything right now, which I understand. They don't know how to invest in value. They want to invest in hype, so they bought tops, and now they're being impatient, so they want to sell bottoms. When now is the time that you should be getting in. And if you have any doubt about me supporting my platforms and continuing to do the work, look at my history. Look at Reap. What happened with Reap? Reap listed at 4 cents. It pumped to $30. It went back down to $2 in a major market correction. Then it hit $120 when I launched the Dow. Now ETH has crashed 80%, which moved Reap down to like $80. If ETH, but relative to ETH, Reap is moving. Reap is moving up, and then look at B Reap. B Reap launched, had a massive like 40-50x pump, had a major correction, like all assets do after a major pump and during a market correction. We launched Drip. Drip provides a major utility for the B Reap token as the team asset, the asset that allows you to earn rewards from teams. B Reap, what does it do? It has the biggest pump and the biggest securing of capital it's had since launch, like multiple times bigger than what happened at launch. Now B Reap to this day is higher than it was on that first pump, and it's performing. Then Drip launched, did 10x, 20x, major market correction. Drip was sitting at around $3, $3-4 for a few months. Then we the game theory starts to play out.
50. Then it went all the way up to 200. It was amazing.
So just look at my history. When I say that that you need to buy value when the price is down because something big is coming up, look at my history. Right? Every time I've said that, it's more than played out. And very few people took advantage of it. A lot of people were buying at 200. Very few people were buying at $3, even though I was there saying, now's your time to buy. Buy value, buy future value. Don't buy hype. Don't buy FOMO. And I'm here saying it again, and I hope people listen. But I mean, absolutely. Do your own. You got to do your own research. You got to manage your own risk. Don't go crazy. But when I say I'm going to do something, and we have something coming, I mean it. And I'm someone that takes integrity very, very seriously. And the things we're building are great, and they are coming soon. And my team is getting better than ever. And we've cut some people that were losing drive or whatever. We brought on some fresh young people that are doing great work. We're going to manage our marketing budget better than ever in a way that we've never done before because we didn't have the resources to manage a marketing fund properly. Because it's just a matter of that's a full-time job for a team of people, and we didn't have a team of people to do it. This is something that we brought on. So we're always trying to evolve. We're trying to get better. The market itself is down like 80% or whatever. Drip has outperformed BNB every single day since launch. So yeah, drip is down whenever it's down 80%, 85%, something like that. So is BNB. And drip was paying out and is still paying out 1% compound interest every single day. And I saw a little bit of I wouldn't even call it fun, but I would call it maybe a little worry, a little anxiety about the fact that that the tax pool was used and there was some minting going on. Consider this: when Drip Garden and Animal Farm went live, it incentivized people to take their drip and put it there instead of in the faucet. Now, say what you will about that, high risk. A lot of people made a lot of money on it, but still, it was high risk. And then the Animal Farm, of course, it provides a lot of utility, and it's great. But it really doesn't matter where the drip is, whether it's in the tax vault, or if it's in the drip garden, or if it's the Animal Farm. As long as it's locked up in a contract and not in circulation, that's what matters. So the reason why the tax vault minted is because that's what it's designed to do. It's designed so if capital for any reason leaves the tax vault, people who have stakes that are owed drip will get paid drip. And it acts as a form of buffer to fill in, to ensure the system is functional in these times. So when we hit the next wave, we have a major new wave like we've had 3 times with drip already, and we do a new all-time high, and all that capital comes in, the system's still functional. It didn't break because no money was in the tax vault. So drip is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And, people were asking me if I was surprised that it minted. I'm not surprised at all. That's what it's designed to do. And it did that because the capital went to our other contracts. It didn't end up in circulation. And if you look, drip did what, 85% correction, whatever. Most of that correction was off insane hype, right? People buying the top in insane exuberance. And also, BNB itself corrected 80%, whatever. The whole market did. So, when you consider that drip corrected about the same percentage as BNB while paying out 1% compound interest every day, while coming off a major exuberant high from the launch of Animal Farm, it's insane. We're performing extremely well, and we're going to continue to perform extremely well. And look at all our competition. Half of them are dead. They're not, those developers are gone. They're hacked. They're depegged. Yeah. They're wrecked. Their developers moved on to something else. Not even talk about them anymore. They're drained. We're still developing. We're still going strong. Drip is stronger than ever. It's still outperforming the market. People are making 1% compound interest. I love it. Right? I love drip. And some of the things that have that we were working on that maybe didn't come to fruition, there's good reason for that. And I haven't, let me just give one example of this, right? So there was a major rapper that wanted to do an NFT deal with us. I got connected to him through a jeweler in Atlanta. I'm not going to go into the details of who they are because it's not necessary. But we're going to do the deal, right? I'm talking with their management. Everybody's happy with the money everybody's going to get. Then, out of the blue, one of their people tells me, man, we got to make this big because we have money to clean. We have millions of dollars to clean. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You want to use our NFT deal to clean money? Like, what? Why would you say that to me? We can't work together anymore. Bye. Don't talk to me anymore. Blocked. 4 months later, this rapper gets indicted. And all his people do too. So, we're making decisions for the long term. Right? We're not going with what's going to cause hype in the short term. We're going with what makes sense in the long term. We're not taking stupid risks. We're not using some algo token that's going to unpeg, but it's going to cause a lot of hype for the next month before it unpegs. None of that. We're sticking with strong fundamentals. And now my fire alarm's going off, so I got to see what's going on. But
well, that's you're coming up against a hard deadline, anyways.
Yeah.
Two things just to throw out. We have one person asking to be able to send notes with the airdrops that you give in Drip, and then another one curious if the management tools for custodial accounts will be releasing with the new Drip AI. So if you can answer those, we have another meeting coming up.
Both of those are things that can be done with the new UI. Messages with airdrops is a good idea. I'm going to add that to the list of things that I want to consider with the new UI for sure. Yeah, I have a meeting in 1 minute, guys, but I'll come back. Whenever you guys want. So,
awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, sorry, guys. Didn't quite fit the AMA format because he was just blasting us with a fire hose of great information. But Forex Shark, thank you so much for your time today. I know you got to get that battery out.
I have no idea why the fire alarm's going off.
If you want to just say whatever your adieus are, and we'll wrap it up.
Well, thanks for having me, man. You've been around since REAP. You've seen many market cycles with us. You've seen a continued growth. Well, we had like 4,000 people, 3,000 people in our first group. Now we have, 70,000 people combined in groups, over 100,000 active users. Now we're in a bear market now. Now's the time where you build. Now's the time where you accumulate. That's what we're doing. And, the future is bright. I've never been more excited with the things that we have moving forward. I couldn't be more excited with the team that I've put together behind the scenes. I want to get things done just as fast as everybody else. It's about doing it right and doing it right the first time. And that's what we're doing. And I just want to thank everybody for being here. I'll come back. And in the next couple weeks, you're going to see a date for launch, and you're going to see a bunch of interviews lined up and a bunch of promotion. We're just waiting until we have that date to Animal Farm goes live so we can make the most of our promotion. We're not just going on major interviews and not giving a date for them. So I appreciate it, man. I got to jump off because I'm late for a meeting, but I appreciate you. I appreciate your platform. You have a great team, right? You have one of the strongest, most supportive teams out of anybody in Drip. There's been some people that created huge teams for Drip just to launch their own shitcoin and try to take the attention away. And then, of course, what happens? That shitcoin that they said they were going to build as part of a improvement on Drip, what happened? The shitcoin launched, it pumped, it dumped. They never even launched their Drip, whatever, fork or whatever they're supposed to do. They put a big tax on it. They took the money. They ran. So, not everybody has the kind of integrity and just will that you have. And I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate your support. And I'm always willing to come back. So just let me know, and I'll be back. And I had a lot to talk about today because I wanted to go over all the stuff that we have in the works. But I'll be more than happy to come on and just sit and answer a ton of questions. I have some more AMAs coming up. I have another one in a few days, I think. Stonecutter would know. But anyways, I'll be announcing it. So I'll talk to you guys later. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to hop off. Thank you.
Have a great one, man. Kill that meeting.
I will. Bye.
Guys. Thank you very much for coming out today and joining us here in Drip Syndicate. For those who are new, you are welcome to stay, but the pin message still holds. We talk about things that are not usually safe for work. We talk about things that are a little risque in many cases. So if you can handle the banter, you're welcome to stay. If not, we can meet each other in other chats and be cordial and all that kind of stuff. But thank you very much for coming out. Happy to have hosted Forex Shark for you guys. And I wish you the best. We're in this for one hell of a rocket ride coming up in the next 6 to 12 months. Have a great day, guys.